Okay, back again on the Rich Van Tassel Show, 9.5 Brookdale Student Radio. Going ahead and breaking down this weekend's games in the NFL season, week 8 now. First, starting with the bye weeks, the team off this week are the Buffalo Bills, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Washington Redskins, and the Jacksonville Jaguars. First game up are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're traveling to the dirty South, as it'd be called, the Atlanta Falcons. They're playing. The injuries first for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Major Wright, the safety, is questionable. Quentin McDonald, the defensive tackle, questionable. Austin Seferian-Jenkins, the tight end, questionable. Vincent Jackson, their wide receiver, is doubtful. Russell Shepard, their wide receiver, is probable. For the Falcons, Leonard Hankerson, the wide receiver, out. William Moore, their safety, out. And Nick Williams, the wide receiver, is questionable. Now, Atlanta hasn't been looking too good the last couple games. They are 6-1. They did get off to that hot start, but they did struggle last week against a poor Tennessee Titans team. So, that following a loss, you would expect that a little more from them coming in the game against a weak Tennessee team. But they did get the win nonetheless. But I think they're starting to come back to earth and be the team that many of us expected at the beginning of the year. Devontae Freeman, the rookie, is still having a very good season. He's got 621 yards and 9 touchdowns thus far this year. Jameis Winston for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quietly has started to put together a decent season. He's limiting his turnovers. He has 9 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. When you look at it, Matt Ryan has 9 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and Matt Ryan has thrown the ball for almost 100 more times. So you would expect more touchdowns. Now, granted, it's more impressive that Matt Ryan doesn't have as many interceptions, being that he's thrown the ball that many times. But you expect more touchdowns from him, especially with what he has to work with. So Jameis Winston quietly putting it together. With this game, however, I see the Atlanta Falcons winning mainly because Major Wright is out and Quentin McDonald is also out or questionable, so we don't know if he'll play. That'll lend to whether or not Tampa Bay stands much of a chance. If McDonald's not playing up the middle, he's one of the best players, along with McCoy on the defensive side of the ball. Tackle position that'll allow Devontae Freeman to run up and down if they can't go. But with Major Wright, if he can't go either, then Atlanta's going to throw the ball. Julio Jones having a spectacular year, of course. And frankly, Atlanta's just the better team here. It is a division game, so we'll see how much Atlanta's going to struggle with Tampa Bay. They are at home though, so I'm liking Atlanta to win this game, score a lot of points. I think they're a little upset at how they came out last week against an inferior Tennessee team. I'm expecting Atlanta to get the win, 34-23. Should be fairly easy for the Falcons on Sunday. All right, next up, two very underachieving teams this year. Off Detroit had a good year last year, made the playoffs. Kansas City was right in contention last year. 1-6 for Detroit, 2-5 for Kansas City. The game is in Kansas City. The injury report for the visiting Lions: Matthew Stafford, questionable. George Bell, running back, questionable. Brandon Pettigrew, tight end, probable. Calvin Johnson, the wide receiver, probable. Jeremy Maclin, the wide receiver, is probable. And Charcandrick West, the running back who is replacing Jamal Charles, is probable. Jamal Charles has been out for a few games and he's still the leading rusher for his team, so that shows you that they haven't been running the ball as effectively as they would like, and you would expect that with Jamal Charles not being in the lineup anymore. Alex Smith, again, having a good year. Only 3 interceptions this year, so he's not turning the ball over and he's playing well. I don't know how much heat he's taking in the Kansas City media for the team's struggle this year. I don't think it's fair of him to take really any, but you never know where the media would lie on that, because Alex Smith obviously has not had been portrayed the best light throughout his entire career. Matthew Stafford for the Lions has 9 interceptions. Detroit isn't really going anywhere this year. What can they do though the rest of the season? Can they get their offense together and at least carry something in the next year? You'd like to hope so. Now, with Stafford being questionable and Calvin Johnson probable, there is a possibility that one, if not either of them, will play this week. So this game may not be the time for that improvement. Both of these teams, considering who's in first in their division, you have Green Bay first in Detroit's division and Denver first in Kansas City's division. Now those two teams do play, so one of them will finally have a loss after this week's game, but both are undefeated going into the week. So really no shot for the division either way. I like Kansas City because they're at home, and I think they're going to figure it out. Andy Reid's too good a coach, and things are going to start to break right for them this year. Again, these were two, better teams from last year, so it's not like Detroit teams sprung up on you. But Kansas City being the home team, I like a relatively high scoring. I'm going to go 30-24 Kansas City Chiefs. All right, Arizona off the Monday night win, 5-2, is traveling to Cleveland to play the Browns. Injury report for the Cardinals: Gerard Powers, cornerback, questionable. Dwight Freeney, linebacker, pass rushing linebacker, questionable. John Brown, the wide receiver, questionable. Deion Buchanan, the safety, probable. Justin Bethel, cornerback, probable. Johnny Manziel is probable. Joe Hayden is probable. Manziel, the quarterback. Joe Hayden, the cornerback, probable. Josh McCown, the quarterback, is questionable. Andrew Hawkins, wide receiver, questionable. Deshaun Gibson, the safety, is questionable. Now, going to Cleveland first with these injuries, I'm under the same impression I've been under the whole season. If McCown is active, he will be the starter. He is questionable though. The Manziel's probable, so there is a possibility that Manziel will start. It's been a tough year for Cleveland. Obviously, I don't think they meant to play quarterback carousel. But when your quarterbacks are getting injured, that's going to happen. Especially with Johnny Manziel, you have the media attention that goes along with him. So it's certainly been a tough year for Cleveland. Arizona's going to look to keep rolling. They are a little short-handed in the secondary, and that's going to be a problem with Travis Benjamin of the Browns, who's having a very good year this year, already 35 receptions for 575 yards and 4 touchdowns. He's been one of the lone bright spots for the Browns thus far this season. On the other side of the ball, Larry Johnson is having a very good comeback year: 46 receptions, 623 yards, 6 touchdowns. Carson Palmer is finding him. Carson Palmer playing very well, has 16 touchdowns for 5 interceptions. Chris Johnson, again, off a big week last week, showing that he's not quite done yet. He is close. He's over 5 yards per carry actually for this season. Only 3 touchdowns, but he's showing that he still has the speed. Maybe not what he used to be, but hey, when you're so fast to begin with, even if you lose the lead, you're still going to have more speed than most. Short week for the Cardinals. This is one of those games you don't want to give back. They have a pretty comfortable lead in their division, but they do have Seattle behind them, and we know Seattle's pedigree. So it is, like we said, they're going on the road playing an inferior team. You don't want to have any letdown, especially on this short week. I don't think it's going to be easy for the Cardinals, but I'm starting to have faith in this team that they are ready to win. And I think Carson Palmer's hungry after having to sit out last year. I think it'll be closer than most people expect, and I'm liking it to be 24-21, late, possibly overtime win for the Cardinals. San Francisco at 2-5, traveling to St. Louis to play the Rams. The Rams very quietly 3-3. San Francisco 2-5 have not won a road game this far this year. Injury report for the visiting 49ers: all are questionable. Laura Bowman, the linebacker, Anquan Boldin, the wide receiver, Carlos Hyde, the running back. For the Rams, James Laurinaitis, the linebacker, is questionable. Alec Ogletree, the linebacker, is on injury reserve, and Trey Mason, the running back, is questionable. You look at the two quarterbacks, very similar numbers. Colin Kaepernick has thrown the ball almost 40 more times, and it reflects that he has more yardage, but both have 6 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. A lot of inconsistent play, especially from Nick Foles. I was expecting more from him, and I didn't expect him to play, anything that was amazing this year, but I definitely expected him to limit the turnovers, which he is not doing this year. For the main key in this game is Todd Gurley, the running back for the Rams, having a very good season now that he's healthy from his knee injury. Almost 6 yards per carry, so that is certainly respectable, just shy of 6 yards per carry. 2 touchdowns, so that's not the best, but hey, he's coming back, so he's a rookie, and he's going to start scoring touchdowns, I would expect. You look at the top receivers for St. Louis: Kenny Britt, only 224 yards on 12 receptions, not good enough. Anquan Boldin having a solid year, 31 receptions for 372 yards, but even that's not going to get the job done. He is listed as questionable. St. Louis, they can go above 500 with a win here. You never know. especially in that division. They're certainly in contention for the wild card. So if this team can get consistent and start stringing some wins along, who knows what can happen. They've got to stop turning the ball over, and I'm sure they're happy to have the reeling San Francisco 49ers coming into town. It's a division game. I don't know how much fight San Francisco has left in them. They they want to win, they're proud, but again, we have seen that they've come out lackluster at times. So especially that Thursday night game against the Seahawks. So with the extended rest, they're going to come out hungry. St. Louis, if they want to be a team that has any playoff chance, has got to beat four teams at home, regardless of how much they are hungry or not. So I'm going to give the Rams the benefit of the doubt. I think I'm maybe mistaken with this one because they've been inconsistent all year, but I'm going to pick them in this game. And I like the Rams 27 to 24. Alright, the Giants traveling down to New Orleans to play the Saints. The 4-3 Giants, the 3-4 Saints. New Orleans has quietly won 3 out of 4 since their 0-3 start. They're doing what they can to get themselves back in contention. Injury report to the Giants first. Recently signed. He's been on the team before, but he's now signed his contract. Jason Pierre-Paul is out. Defensive end. Prince Mukamara, the cornerback, is out. John Beeson, the linebacker, questionable. Victor Cruz is up to questionable for this game, and Odell Beckham Jr., the wide receiver, is probable. The Saints only listing one to now elevated linebacker. Big game for the Giants. They'd like to keep rolling. They don't want to fall back into the losing ways after they won that game against Dallas. Eli Manning, very solid season as far this year, 11 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Drew Brees starting to come along. Obviously, with that injury, he's struggling to throw the ball downfield. 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions this year. Odell Beckham Jr., the top wide receiver, 42 receptions for 524 yards and 4 touchdowns. Willie Snead is becoming Drew Brees' most favorite target this year, 29 for 461 and a touchdown. You look at the Giants' running game, Rashad Jennings has got to be better, only 262 yards thus far this season, and not even at 4 yards per carry. Mark Ingram is playing well. He's at about 4.5 yards per carry and 5 touchdowns, 450 yards this year. Interesting game here. New Orleans has certainly struggled at times, but they have won 3 out of 4. The Giants are clearly looking like the best team in the division, and you got to see what they're going to bring on a week-to-week basis. If there's any question with the Giants, it's consistency. However, since the 0-2 start, they are 4-1. So I'm expecting the Giants to keep it rolling in this week, and I don't think Drew Brees is going to be able to get the ball downfield. So I'm going to take the Giants. Eli Manning playing well in his hometown, and I'm going to like it to be 34-24, high-scoring game. No answers on the secondary of New Orleans for Odell Beckham Jr. All right, so we will take another break real quick right now and come back and continue on with